Alright, we're back with more Banner Saga. What happened last time? I talked about the NBA the whole time. To give a sense of when I'm recording this, for whatever it's worth, the Denver Nuggets are currently up 2-1 in the finals over the Miami Heat. Game 3 happened last night. That said, let's return to the Banner Saga. Gather round, doubters. Ah, yes, Krumr went off, unknown. Kind of worried he wasn't going to make it back. Echoes a shout in the distance as Krumr and his band of warriors break through nearby foliage. And behold the invincible Varl. The caravan is thrilled to see Krumr return to safety. And I am too. I like him in my party. Did the plan work? Asks Ubin. Work, responds Krumr. Of course it worked. Same old dredge. Should be another day or two at least before they even find their own asses. We got renown, we got morale. And if you apologize, I'll tell you how I found these, Krumr says, tossing you a pair of leather gloves that look big enough for a Varl. He leans in close, whispering so Ubin can't hear. Had something to do with a raven's nest and a hair tie. Dunder's hand, let's check it out. And we're off the horrible red morale. I should probably rest somewhere, but I think we'll rest somewhere shortly anyway. Unfair of me to have, prior knowledge of the game and all that, but uh, it is a problem for like decision-based games. Like it never play, or it would be hard to play Walking Dead like this because, Dunder's hand is very good. Do we want to give that to Ivor? Does he need 3 more strength? No, I think the strength resist is pretty good. Doesn't make sense on Avend, so we'll save it. But this is pretty nice. It's not what we want on Eagle. We want Eagle to have armor and aggro. It's not what we want on Rook. I like him as an armor breaker. But if Krumr is now back in our lineup, if Krumr hits level 5, seems like it would be a nice thing to put on another Varl. Really good item. +3 strength is obviously just tremendously strong. Because if you think of like a dangerous enemy might be 18 power, 12 armor. Well, if you have 13 strength, you're hitting their power for 1. You exert for an extra 1 or 2, you're hitting them from 18 to like 16. But if you're doing +3 on that, you're hitting them from 18 to 13, and suddenly they're no longer breaking your armor. As Sigrholm approaches, we fear the worst. The once calm lake surrounding it now look like a bowl that has been flipped. Sorry I didn't get the rest of the dialogue there, but you could look at your screen. Don't be lazy. Anyhow, we've made it to Sigrholm, and Sigrholm is very important because this is where we're going to meet Juno. I like seeing our caravan still. Varl are tall guys. Just really tall guys. Part man, part beast, as we learned at the Godstone. And very sadly, there won't be any more because the god who makes them has died. Not quite clear, I think, how we've moved on from the Age of Gods. One catastrophe to another, says Oddleaf as you pull into Sigrholm. The town appears to be sinking into the lake. Townspeople peek from dark windows in makeshift hovels further up the hill. No, says Avon, looking frantic. Where is she? He runs to the front of the caravan, looking out over the water. Juno isn't here, and you get the creeping feeling you're not welcome either. Going upriver looks out of the question. The beach is bare, aside from the occasional skeleton of a ruined fishing boat. You reluctantly set up camp in the sinking town. It doesn't seem like Sigrholm's doing great, and all I'm saying is how long are you willing to wait? While taking a stock of caravan, you've inadvertently walked into a debate between Oddleaf and Avend. As long as we need to. And I think we need to get out of here. I don't feel good about this place. Why? What's wrong? Something doesn't feel right. The people here are staring at us like those vultures in the wastes. I'm sorry, Avend. I think Oddleaf is right. I saw him, man. The whole time we were setting up, he was just watching me. In a creepy way. And how long before the dredge find us here? Juno will come. Just give it a little more time. Rook, listen to me. I need you to trust me on this. I do like to side with my daughter, and I do like to side with Oddleaf, but I haven't heard what Ivor thinks, and I always side with Ivor. I don't always side with Avend. Let's go to the market. 1 renown gets 3 food. Eh. +2 aggro, or -2 aggro is kind of interesting, but not that worth it. These aren't very good. Let's buy a little food. It only gets me a couple days. Alright, let's get up to 17 days of food. That does remind me, though, we did get the renown from Krumr. We can level someone up and hopefully give them nice equipment. We haven't had much renown for a while, but I think this is a game changer because Eagle is incredible and is now level 5, which means we can give him the God Scale. What does he have now? He has nothing. And with the God Scale, +3 armor, look at this. He's going to have 19 armor, and all the enemies will target him. We can even get him up to 11 strength. We could up his will, but I think we can always feed him enough will from the enemies we're killing. I'd rather get him, finishing up a fight just to be able to do a little more damage. I think Eagle may have just become, it's hard to beat Ivor, but Eagle may have just become our best character. And you might think he was already, because a character running into the middle of the fight and getting the opponent to waste 3 turns every round is absurdly valuable. Let's check in with Avend. We also missed recruiting a character last time, and a Varl too, which is a shame, but a Varl with terrible stats, as I recall. Like, comes, I think, level 5 maybe, but his, max is, a 13-13, and when you compare to, even, I forget the name of the one that died, it's all left my head, but, Ivor's, 15-17 or something, or 16-17, something like that. Krumr, I think, is 13-17. 13-13 at level 5 is just miserable. You're really worried about her, aren't you? What? Oh, Juno. Worried doesn't begin to describe it. She doesn't find us here. Something has happened to her. Are you sure what you saw was real? Could have been a dream, or, I don't know, you were pretty exhausted. I don't know. To be honest, I'm not sure anymore. Everything is a blur. Don't tell the others I said that. I have to hope it wasn't just a dream. You think about what you want to say. What's it like to be a mender? Being a mender, I guess never really thought about it like that. It's just part of me. They knew very young that I would join the order. Born into it, you could say. My mother and father, both menders. The guild is for lots of people now. Builders and healers. Do they all pull lightning out of the sky? No, that's not normal. It's one of the reasons I know Juno. She's one of the council. She helps me control things like this, so we don't end up scaring people. How exactly does weaving work anyway? Well, the hardest part is usually seeing the threads. Everything is part of the tapestry. It's made of threads woven together. If you can see the threads, you can manipulate them. I don't know how to explain it really. It's like trying to play a harp with invisible strings. Look at my staff, for example. Some menders carve intricate patterns in the wood to help them remember the shapes of, or, like I said, hard to explain. Why is Bellower still following us? I saw Grofheim as it burned. Avend gets a faraway look in his eyes. The sunder blew through it like a tempest. The Barl fell in the thousands. Most of the sunder left the city and headed south. Who knows where they are now? They might be destroying every town they come to, or heading toward Arborang. Bellower stayed in Grofheim, just for the sport of it, I think. As we fled to Einertoft, I thought he must want to wipe the Varl off the map completely. But then, he came after us. Maybe he knew Ivor was the one who killed Raze. Maybe, but let's just make sure he doesn't catch up. You think about what you want to say. Oh, I said that. Do you think this is the end times? I don't know what to think. I wish I could give you a better answer. Even if we escaped the dredge, that serpent said a darkness was covering the world, and did seem to suggest the dredge were just running from that, too. I don't know how long that will take, or what it means even. I'm just trying to solve one problem at a time. I would say right now our problems are most immediately the dredge, specifically Bellower. The dredge and Bellower. Number two, whatever darkness is coming, maybe. Number three, the serpent that wants to devour the whole tapestry. Number four, Varl human issues. That's probably it. So only four little problems. The Menders are in Arborang. If we can find ships and make it to the capital, we might have a chance. Won't take any more time. No, it's okay, Rook. I appreciate the talk. It's good to stay grounded. I spend all day worrying about serpents or Sunder. I think a lot of people are intimidated, or scared maybe, with me. Don't worry, it's nothing new. I'm used to it. Maybe sometime we can talk about things that don't include the world ending. That sounds nice and cheerful. Now, we still have the time to make, but we're gonna rest. We have people to heal, we have 70 days food, we're definitely gonna rest. A scuffle has broken out in front of the houses. Thief, shouts one of your people as a group of strangers flee from your camp. Oddleaf is already running their direction. They took our supplies, you hear from nearby. Hmm. We can chase the thieves, try to talk it out with the locals, tell the caravan to get ready to leave immediately, or ignore the theft and protect the caravan. I think running around here is probably not a great idea. I think we should probably just leave. Juno is not here. Juno is dead or not dead or dream spaced or something. I think we should just get out of here. Let's leave. Oddleaf turns back from the chase when you call everyone together and tell them to get packed. Good, she says. It's what we should have done in the first place. Avent looks like he desperately wants you to reconsider, but remains quiet. We've got other problems, says Ivor. The whole place is flooded. We could try to walk the muddy parts, but it'll be slow going. And that seems dangerous to me. You don't want to be, like, in a river for long. We could try to float the caravan over the lake, but we might tip or get stuck. Or we could just go around the whole thing, but no idea how long that'll take. What do you think? Classic Oregon Trail decision, right? Just classic Oregon Trail. Ford the river, caulk the wagon, pay locals, take a detour. We have a bunch of food and renown right now. I think we're going to pay the locals. I think that's like the classic Oregon Trail. If you can afford it, do that. If you can't, you got to start taking risks. This is Oregon Trail. We'll pay some locals. The locals become a lot more helpful when you swallow your pride and start offering food for help crossing the river. They give you small fishing boats to borrow and show you the area with the best chance of making it across. You hope your luck holds out as you launch from the shore. Despite, or you suspect, because of your vigilance, the locals from Sigrholm don't try anything underhanded as they take you in their small boats to the other side of the lake over several trips. You leave them with a generous amount of food, and they row back to their town. You hope it's worth it to buy some space from Bellower, who will have to drag his armies through the mud on foot. We should also tell people to get the hell out of here. Like, go into hiding for a week, you know? Morale improved. Our morale was up to normal for a sec there. We got 10 renown. That, and we still have 14 days supplies, so we're still doing very well on supplies. And actually, that makes me think maybe we can level up Rook, get him to level 5 as well. He already has the best equipment, but better stats can't hurt. Or equipment I'm happy with. We have Ivor's great, Eagle's great, Avon's great. Avon we could have better. No, +1 will a turn. We're very happy with Avon. He's amazing. He can just heal armor every turn. So I think the question is Krumr, Rook, or Oddleaf. And I think I'm going to get Rook to level 5. Yeah. We don't need a new item on him, but get him armor. Do we want more Exert or more Will? Probably more Will. I've run out of Will with him using his Hunt Prey, Mark Prey. And he can already do 6 armor damage, which is just huge. And we are out of renown, so if another purchase comes up, but we just had a town. I'm sure we'll have renown opportunities before, we hit a new location, right? Some wooded area we're coming through. I like when there's stuff both in the foreground and in the background as we move. I think that's a really nice touch this game had of just they didn't have, a ton of processing power to work with visually. It's all painted backgrounds, right? Nothing in motion. But I think they did a really nice job making it come together. Stop! A resolute voice calls from somewhere in front of you. The surrounding terrain comes alive with armed fighters surrounding the caravan. No need for bloodshed, the leader says. Leave a couple wagons and pretend you never even stopped here. Oh, baby, you know what we're doing? We're getting renown. Attack immediately. Before he's even finished his sentence, you have your weapons out and rush forward to attack. In a real life, I might try to save some human lives here, but I am excited to get off zero renown. And I think our party's in pretty good shape right now. Yeah, the World Hook is nice on Oddleaf. The Let's Bracelet is pretty good on Krumr. Like, actually, we have good equips on everyone. I, you know, Thunder's Hand would be nice on Krumr. I'm not even sure if there's... Thunder's Hand would also be nice on Oddleaf, but I'm not even sure if there's a clear upgrade. I actually think our party is in really good shape right now. Like, it'll just basically look how it looks with the equipment it has, I think, for the rest of the game. 5 enemies. Now, 5 enemies can be annoying because they get so many turns. But Ivor always gets first turn. He'll bash that one. Krumr here. Eagle ready to run into the middle of the field. Yeah. Ivor's so strong. I mean, and he gets a will back every turn, so I should always be exerting, right? I think he gets a will back every turn. It's a will back every turn or every kill, but either way, he's doing a lot. Alright, they used Eagle's move. We'll also use Eagle's move. And he's going to be drawing extra aggro. He has 19 armor and deflects 3 of every attack. So they're going to go out of their way to hit him, spend extra, and do 1 armor damage that we can heal back with Avend. We're pretty loaded. Let's bring this guy down to 1. Like, our team is very good. They use 3 exert to do 2 armor damage, right? Yeah. Now, where do I want to go? I'm going to stay in the area. I'm going to go for this guy. I know he has his thing up, so it does reduced, because he's using Eagle's move. We can still do 3 armor damage, and unlike us, the enemy can't heal armor damage. Now, I could use Arc Lightning here, but I think it hits my own guy. Clearly not worth it. Let's put Eagle back up to 19. Essentially, they have not done damage to us yet this fight, right? And they use 2 extra to move and 2 to hit him for armor damage, and Eagle's still at 17. This is probably the best target to break. This guy, the 9/7, still is going to take reduced because he used his move. All of their will has been used up, or a ton of it has been used. They're very low on will on many characters, and Ivor can't help himself. He's just too powerful. He doesn't need +3 attack. And they still can't hit Eagle for real damage. I'll run into the middle of the field just to not take anything. Should we do... Nah, let's just use 1. Again, we're going to be healing him in a couple turns, unless they can get his armor down before that. I don't think they can. Okay, they hit Krumr for a real hit. That's a shame, but we get to hit them back. Now this guy will hit us next turn, so that's a bummer. But it would be nice, yeah, it would be really nice to level up Krumr a bit, because right now Ivor's our only really heavy hitter, and it would be nice to have a second heavy hitter, but not a big concern. I guess maybe Mark Prey this via 8/8. I should have checked how much Krumr had. I thought because it does the extra damage to the archer that might be nice, but probably not worth it. Overly fancy. Fancy play syndrome. Should we just heal Eagle again? Yeah, why not? And again, Avend gets a will back every turn because of the armor we gave him. And Ivor deflects strength damage, so he didn't take any there because he has +2 resistance to strength. This is the only threat left on the battlefield, so we gotta try to get it down a bit. This 12 power, is a real thing. Ooh, 5 armor damage. 11-1 doesn't need to be hit. None of these need to be hit. I'm going to move him over where maybe he can get it to 7-12 in a turn. But I think it's going to run around the other way and hit Oddleaf. Yeah. Maybe I should have used the Oddleaf trap to stop that. Probably would have been the right call. Gotta be a little careful about the 7-12. Glide Krumr is the next turn. No, he only has 7 power. Well, I'll get him a little out of the way. Get them down to 10. Something. Maybe I should have checked who was the next turn and see if I could have hit with Rook. Because Rook could have hit him for strength damage. But Rook can hit him for strength damage. No, let's No, I don't have an archer. If I marked Prey, Oddleaf wouldn't get a hit on him. So it's much better to just take him to 5 here. Now I think everything's under control, and if I have a choice, I want to feed kills to Krumr and Oddleaf, because they're the only ones not at 5, level 5. Rook is definitely lowest on armor. It's going to be a little hard to feed kills to Oddleaf, but maybe we can manage somehow. Yeah, 80%. Well, that's a bummer. Alright. Obviously, Ivor does not need more kills. Eagle does not need more kills. Just be a wall. Hopefully he distracts more. They actually had really good armor break this fight, and Eagle was still just enormous wall. Okay, Krumr, happy to get kills. Yeah, sadly, can't do it here, but we can whittle them down. Let's pause the recording. Okay, we're back. What's going on? I was gonna mark Prey to get a kill on both Krumr and Oddleaf. Just to guarantee they both get that kill. Oddleaf, I think, is the right heal here. Don't want her strength getting any lower. And, I mean, I'm fine getting kills on, Ivor or Eagle. It's just, if we have choices, may as well, put kills on the characters that need it more. Yeah, that move on the Thrashers is still pretty powerful. Maybe the 7-3 should be my big target to get rid of. And they still go for Eagle. Can't help themselves. Alright, full Stonewall again. Krumr, I just want to make sure he's near the enemy. Because I want to make sure mark Prey on him that he's part of the kill unit. Right, so let's get rid of the 7-2. Because Oddleaf will get Pierce on her thing, so she'll do enough to this, yeah. And they can't help wasting turns. Anyone need Mend? Yeah. We're just cleaning up now. Nothing too exciting. Let's give you a boost. 30%, not great. 80%. I can do that. We already failed it once, but will we fail it twice? No. Get you out of the way. You slightly out of the way, but near enough you're part of the kill team. And hopefully Oddleaf is in range. I think she should be. Perfect. Alright. Easy fight, nothing dangerous there, just distributing the kills properly. And I think we could see how good Eagle is even against an enemy team that had quite high break power. 13 days of supplies, 12 days of supplies. We could rest. Should we rest a little? I'm really not sure. Let's do a day of rest. Krumr also, it would be nice to have Krumr at full stats for encounters. Because we just, if you look at our team, we don't have that many heavy hitters. Like, obviously, Eagle just sits there being hit. Ivor's a heavy hitter. Rook is a surprisingly solid hitter. Avon's a healer. It would be nice to have Krumr have a little more oomph to him. And with his equipment, he's up to, if he's healthy, he's up to 14 power, which is very good. But with his low armor, it drops off quite quick. I wonder what the like really good players of this game consensus is on, like, would you rather have like a 13-11 or an 11-13? What's the better stat? And does it vary depending on where it is? You notice most of the Varl pacing while others sleep. Their brief conversations with each other and other clansmen grow shorter and sharper. Go away, roars one Varl at a young girl, asking him too many questions. All the clansmen stop and stare. We have the break the tension by making a joke. I'm impressed you kept it together this long. Send the Varl ahead in the caravan to put some space between you, or what is wrong with you? I think 3 is the kind of, like, trying to have the best of all worlds, just, like, say, like, okay, we just separate them, problem's over. I think 4 is the take this head on, but in an aggressive way. 2, like, 4 is the I am siding with sort of maybe humans, if this is a human Varl thing, which we don't know, or just against the Varl. 2 is I'm siding with the Varl, but I'm not sure in a way that Varl would like to hear. I'm gonna make a joke. I think you just ruined her dream of marrying a Varl boy, you say, timing your smile just right. Ah, I didn't know I was gonna make a good joke, like a well-delivered joke. That's different. The giant grins, then throws back his head with booming laughter. Other Varl join in the mirth, and the caravan feels a bit uplifted for it. The giant explains, we live in the north for its space. Endless miles of snow, ice, mountains, fields, space to be alone. But here, there is no time for such things. Understanding slowly trickles through the caravan, relieving some of the tension. Alright, well that went great. We're coming up on a town? Looks like a town. We're going to be in miserable morale when we get there? No, only orange morale. The villagers here are completely oblivious to the destruction that is coming. All we've seen is some dark figures far off, they tell you. Aside from a few young families, they're reluctant to pick up their things and join you. Well. Goodbye. 1 renown gets 5? We'll spend our renown here. We'll make sure we have a decent amount of supplies. I should have checked the items first, but none of these are good. +2 armor is just not that exciting. We can rest a day here, I guess. See if we can get up to average morale. Yeah, we're doing it. And that'll fully heal Krumr too. We don't have the little skull over the rest thing anymore. So we have full stats. 11 days of supplies. And I guess we're trying to get to Arborang, where everyone else is going. The kind of, like, remaining surviving capital. The capital of the humans. I wish I had a little more supplies. Like, 15 would be really nice. Give some cushion in case, like, there was the thing going to the bridge if it's going to be, like, 3 days with no supplies kind of, or with no stops. And you worry that something will hit that'll cut some supplies, that kind of thing. Harsh words from one mother to another draws the attention of the entire caravan. My daughter marries Ragni or no one. That reed-thin tramp you call a daughter won't provide sons. The insulted mother bares her teeth, ready to attack. Now here, we don't have the joke option. Again, I think the keep the women separated thing is make other people have to pay a lot of attention to this thing they probably won't, and that just like delays the problem. Letting the argument play out on its own seems dangerous. Worry on marriage another time. Well, let's see what happens. We're gonna let it play out. You turn your back on the women, encouraging others to do the same. The shouting eventually dies down, but the unease in camp persists. Yeah, I did the wrong thing. Morale declined. That a Godstone? Feels like it's a Godstone coming up. Gunnar, the quirky old man with the leather headband, says, "There's one thing I know better than women in Mead. It's, well," he smiles, "well, nothing. But I know when a group could use some help. Just nod and let old Unar make everything better. No questions now." "Sure, we'd appreciate any help." That evening, Unar clears his throat and loudly recites a tale of travelers, ending with, "War and death behind them, seeking hope instead, they carried on with courage, using heart and head." Mm, a strange poem, but the caravan is happy for a change of pace. Unar bows and turns to assist the cooks. That evening's meal is larger than ever, yet the supply wagons seem more full than before. You look to thank Unar, but he is gone. Plus 20 supplies? I will take that. Somehow our morale went to miserable, which is a little odd, but I will take the supplies. It looks like we've reached a Godstone. A little giant, not little, giant tree trunk growing there. Do we even need an item from a Godstone? As I said, I feel like our equipment's kind of just stocked, right? We've got really nice stuff on all our units. Obviously, I will try to do the options that get me a reward, but the imposing Godstone of Joralf approaches. His severe visage makes it feel like he's watching you even now. The caravan spreads out, happy to be free of the confining forests and in open fields. Hogan pulls you aside to show you some red berries growing on an ash tree that looks like it was chopped down long ago. "These shouldn't be growing here," he says excitedly. "I haven't seen these in a long time." He and Mogan busily go about collecting the berries. In fact, in honor of Joralf, some of the caravan crack kegs of mead and wine before anyone can stop them. "To the only god that matters," they shout. Everyone drinks, and you're glad for the merriment that has swept over the caravan. I really want supplies. Let's join Hogan in collecting berries." "What exactly are these, you ask Hogan?" "When I would travel to Boisgard with my father, sometimes he'd buy us a few of these," Hogan replies. "Couldn't be a luckier find. See for yourself." You try one, and can feel energy returning to your tired limbs. Not taking a few would be a wasted opportunity, you figure. As the hour becomes late, the caravan is eventually ready to get back on the road. The day by Joralf's stone is one of the few memories that hasn't been tarnished by the specter of bad fortune, you think to yourself. Oh, we got the item. I was kind of thinking, I think I'm turning down the item to try to get supplies, and I was fine doing that, but apparently we got the item. So we'll check out what that is and see where we're at. And we'll probably continue through the next event and then stop there, given that I really would be replying to a call. Alright. Tistleberry, it said. Oh, looks like it. +2 will per rest. That's terrible. You know, maybe if Avon didn't have better, you could leave him in the back and he rests every few turns and gets the will back, but we have much better than this. I do think it's a shame there's no way to sell off your surplus equipment in this game. I think that would be a clear, nice thing, right? You collect this pile of stuff, and a lot of it is outclassed or whatever, and I don't think you need like an extensive, combine these to create this or some version, some crafting type system. I think that would be overly complicated, but just you can sell it and get some renown back for it. I think would be nice. Someone's been nicking extra goods from the supplies, a concerned woman tells you. Counted these myself yesterday, no mistake. This keeps up. We'll all be starving before long. Hmm. I'm gonna ask clansmen if they've seen anything suspicious. Go for information. Noticed anything unusual around the wagons? You ask several groups in the caravan. To a man, they shake their heads. Though they ask no questions, you can tell concern is spreading throughout. I went for let's gain information, and what I did was let's spread worry. I done screwed up. And we're rock bottom. Reykjavik is more of a smattering of farmhouses than a proper town, though judging by stray dredge stalking through empty fields, it is barely even that anymore. That's a question. Where are we? I'm gonna click the map button. I think we're headed to Arborang. We were headed to Sigrholm and/or Arborang. Sigrholm was much closer. We went there. But I misclicked. I clicked camp, but I meant map. But I'm curious. I'm curious where we are. We're near Borsgard. Okay. An aging and senile mess of a city that can't remember whether it wants you to sell you something or steal everything you've got. Alright. Huge disparities between the extremely rich and suffering poor. And we are not all that close to Arborang. So Borsgard's by far the nearest big city. And the biggest city in a while, right? Sigrholm was really small, Haugstorp was small, Reykjavik small. We didn't come from Frostfeller, that was big. We came from Einertoft. Yeah, so Borsgard, biggest city in a while. Alright. Let's see what this town has to offer us, but sounds like not very much. Thought I'd check the map before hitting town in case, any events happened and I forgot what we were doing out here, or that I was curious in the map. Reykjavik comes and goes as a long series of farmhouses, abandoned and crawling with dredge. The farmers have probably all fled to Borsgard. You try to hurry past, but are eventually spotted. Dredge start ambling in your direction. What's that? Points out Oddleaf, up near one of the longhouses. In the distance, a large person, clothes seemingly covered in blood, is cursing loudly and stumbling about. He staggers into a longhouse, laughing. The dredge heading your direction turn back, roaring, and begin to pound on the longhouse door. They seem to be holding a grudge against this particular person. You doubt the door will hold long. Oh, we're helping. We always fight dredge. Against my better judgment, we should probably do something, you say. The others agree, even though it means putting them all at risk. As you quietly approach, the dredge have managed to splinter the door and break through. Hey, shouts Varl, wearing all red, standing on the other side of the dredge. Came all the way up here just for me. He seems unconcerned about the dredge as he hoists his enormous sword. Ah, this is the Varl I thought I missed the chance to recruit earlier when we gave medicine to a Varl. Yeah, so look at this guy. He's a 1410, but he's already used all his points. He's level 5 and has no points available, so he's just a locked 1410. Which is just not good stats at level 5. Like, he's a 1410. Look at Krumr. Krumr is level 1 and a 1311. The other stats do matter, but Krumr arguably has just as good stats, essentially. And he's level 1. Sigbjorn is terrible, but I think we have to use him this fight. However, his item's pretty sweet, so we will take a look at that. Ivor has to get first turn. It's our first 3 Varl party in a while. I guess we'll drop Oddleaf. We are trying to get her kills, but she is clearly the least important member of my party. But the item he has, very interesting. +2 move, -1 aggro. Which means sometimes you can just run into the field. And he has Tempest, the spinning move that hits multiple enemies that Gunolf had. I remembered the name this time. So he can just like run into the middle of the battlefield, hit a bunch of things, and sometimes they just pass the turn rather than hit him back. All right, 1218 is the big threat, so we got a lion Ivor up against that. I think if Sigbjorn has second turn, he'll go here. Krumr, not the best wall, but we'll put Eagle out at the edge. The other is a bit behind. And Ivor can do enough to make this not nearly as big a threat. I didn't want this one to have the next turn. And they do go for Sigbjorn. That sucks. That's a bummer. Alright, I'm going to use up all our will here. He doesn't have much will. Oh, and he can't even use Tempest. What a waste of space. Okay. And he misses a 90%. What are we doing? Okay. Bring him to 1. That seems nice. And do a bonus damage. Maybe I should have checked this guy, because Krumr probably could have avoided a hit here. And we'll bring you here and be your beautiful self, Eagle. Alright. Okay, Sigbjorn's just going to go down. Yeah, I don't like Sigbjorn. I don't. Actually, this is going to be one of those very few cases where we do not mend. Because 5 damage through armor here, getting this down to 12 and this down to 9, is very much worth it. And we didn't really have a heal that was needed. Like, Krumr took 1 armor damage. Big whoop. Okay. Who's worth hitting? Not sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to centralize probably the 10-12. Rook, as usual, has huge armor damage. But also is Mark Prey. Rook is very good. And Ivor could kill you or can bring you down. I guess we'll make you not a threat. Other people can probably hit the 412. And it does the bonus damage to this guy. Eagle, as always, is a star. And hey, we found someone Sigbjorn can hurt. Wow, I'm going to be really out on Sigbjorn. It'll be very rude. Okay, not a big deal. Bring you to 2. And it will do a splash damage to the 12-3. Yeah, perfect. I was hoping this guy would go for Eagle. Ooh, not what I wanted. Alright, we'll be a wall again. We could then... Not really worth it. Okay. I think Rook is less likely to get hit more than Krumr is, so I'm going to mend Krumr. We're just going to let, Sigbjorn, whatever happens, happens. Alright, you can summon another ally. That's just more renown for me. And I think we'll mark Prey. We'll get hits from both of these. That'll do 4. Nah, I should probably just hit it myself, right? If I hit him myself, that's 6 armor damage. That's worth more than, I think, 1 armor damage and 4 strength. Because I have a few turns before it comes up again. It's not like I need to get the turn out of the way. Let's kill the one that's behind our lines. Why not? Don't want to kill the summoning one. The 8-2 doesn't seem worth killing. Right, you could do 1 there or 1 here. Let's do the more reliable one. Possible I should just do armor damage there, but actually it does the extra. I forgot about the splash damage. That's nice. Eagle being beautiful, per usual. And yeah, very important time to hit this down before it gets a turn. I hadn't actually checked who gets turns before it, but I just knew I had a few turns before it would act, and I figured someone would do something useful. Eagle is now out of will, so I should remember that before using the trumpet to feed someone will. You're at 10, you're at 10. Krumr's still the one more likely to take hits. You could say I should heal Ivor here, just because he's important, but it's so hard for them to do strength damage to him because he resists it. Right, that 8-10 gets the next turn. That won't reach anyone. And I probably want to hit the 8 and 9 here. Or I could just get rid of you. Let's get rid of something. Anytime you mark prey next to Ivor, the thing is dead. Alright. Sigbjorn takes more hits. Who cares? Nobody likes Sigbjorn. Slowly meander Ivor around back into the action. Eagle is a hero. Ooh, Sigbjorn will do damage here. We'll get a kill even. Because, or 80% of the kill. That'll do nice little extra damage. I guess we go armor first here. The reason our will is so low is because our morale's so bad. Everyone has willpower -2, which is why everyone's running out of will. You see, they didn't even attack Sigbjorn there. Actually, this is a great spot to Arc Lightning. Because it will hit Eagle, but Eagle resists 3 damage, right? And so he's just going to deflect it or resist it, yeah. And we do some nice damage to the face. And unlike the last enemies, they don't have really high break stats, so they're just doing nothing. I guess the most dangerous thing on the field is the 8-9, so we should... Well, maybe I should have done 4 armor health damage. But yeah, does it matter? Probably not. Don't need Ivor getting kills. I'm just going to get Sigbjorn out of the way. And hopefully this hits and does 1 to all the neighbors. Gets a kill. Krumr. I'd like you to get a kill. Eagle, just eating turns. He has 21 armor right now because he's touching 2 units and he gets a bonus for each thing he's touching. Absurd. Like, right now, like, Bellower, we've seen Bellower, a 2020 would be just getting deflected by Eagle, right? Alright, let's mend someone. Let's do Krumr. Easy Krumr. Rook, gonna come around this way just so he's a little closer to marking prey if he needs to. If we want to split up who gets a kill. Yeah, Eagle's so good. Ivor doesn't need kills, he gets all the kills. And, not the most thrilling encounter now, but... Sort of once you get a fight under control, it's always, I'm just going to kill something, so we go into pillage. But it always simplifies quite a great deal. Alright, you're right next to Krumr. So actually, I'm going to go here, and then, oh, I can't reach next to him to mark Freya. Ah, that's a shame. Alright, I think we'll give the kill to Krumr. That seems... Oh, God. Okay, we can get out of the way. I was gonna say, Krumr can't reach that. And if we need to promote Krumr later, we can. So yeah, I don't think Sigbjorn is a very good character. I think his stats are just shockingly bad for a character that comes fully promoted. But the item on him is really interesting. And it's interesting on a unit like him. Like, if we still had Gunnel, you have someone who has huge power, but can't survive any hits. Lowering aggro on him, while giving him movement so he can set up big Tempests, is actually, like, really nice. I think as we could see here, he still takes enough hits that he doesn't last that long. But interesting strategic idea here. Welcome to my Mead house, Sigbjorn's House of Mead. Wasn't expecting a Varl this far south, or this drunk. I can see that. There are people huddled in the corners of the mead hall, looking on with uneasiness. Who are you people? No, no, they're friends. They made this place. It's not really mine. You lured Dredge back to a room full of unarmed people? What is wrong with you? Come on, I saved everyone in here. They shared some fine drink. The best drink. Wait, I was saving your ass. Remember that part? You knew you'd come up here. You could have told me. What do we do with this guy? Anyone here is welcome to join us. The townspeople show you a huge stack of barrels filled with quality mead and help you haul them back to the caravan. I was thinking, mead is not the same as supplies, but I'm glad it is. I'll miss this place. Good memories. Yeah, Sigbjorn's not the stablest fellow out there. And we're off. With some help, you gather up the casks of mead and head back to the caravan, Sigbjorn and the other survivors in tow. The caravan gives the boisterous Varl a large berth as you set out for Borsgard. And I'm going to say something now that is a slight spoiler, so just end the video here if you do not want any spoilers at all. But I believe this game ends in Borsgard. This is the first game of the trilogy, and I'm going to take this off Sigbjorn because we're not actually going to use him. In case we want to put it on someone else. So I'm not sure we will. But Borsgard will be our big final location for Banner Saga 1. Probably going to be a little bit before I continue the series. There's another game I want to sneak into the rotation. But yeah, we are very much closing in on the end. So part of me checking the map was seeing, are we right at Borsgard? Because I feel like we are. Cheers.